Hello and welcome to Squid Pro Quo, a Squid Game podcast where there are only 3 rules. 1, a player is not allowed to stop podcasting. 2, a player who refuses to podcast will be eliminated. And 3, the podcast will be terminated if the majority agrees. I'm Sean.
I'm Mike.
We're into... There we go. We didn't talk about that beforehand.
Yeah. Dude, you nailed it. I'm very proud of you. That was very
We're the
good.
Squid Boys.
Yeah, we are the Squid Boys. Hello. Thank you to everybody who listened to our first episode on my other podcast's feed. You can now find it on its own feed. But a lot of people were in the Discord saying nice things and talking about Squid Game, and that got me more excited to do this podcast than I even already was. So thank you, everybody. You guys are awesome.
Can I just start off by sharing something like kind of weird?
Sure.
Okay, so like when I was doing that intro just then, like right after I started, hella saliva. And I was like, man, I gotta make it through this intro without pausing. So I made it though.
Dude, I'm so proud of you. That the saliva can be rough, man.
It can, especially like
crazy.
it's a wordy intro. Like it's not like other shows where I'm like, name pieces of the podcast and we're into it. Like I gotta do this whole like there's the 3 rules thing, you know? So I'm really proud of myself for making. Also, thank you for listening to the first episode, guys.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that you no longer want to listen because of Sean's saliva anecdote. I'm sorry that he ruined it.
I was gonna say it before you jumped into the thank you, but you jumped right into it. So I was like, man, I gotta bring it up, but now I gotta go back to it. So it's gonna be even weirder. But I knew it was a sacrifice that had to be made.
It's okay, dude. I understand. Speaking of people, listening, you had some people share their strategies.
I did. So let's talk about that. So last week, obviously, we did the first episode, or actually, I guess this is coming out the same week. But whatever. Last episode, I should say. Last episode, we obviously they went through red light, green light, and in the Discord, which the server to join the Super SpikeGhetti Bros Discord is in the episode description.
Yes, it is.
We had a reply from Mr. Jip214, good friend of the show, who gave his strategy for how he would survive red light, green light, and he also gave his strategy for how to survive the squares game.
Yes.
And I want to start the squares game because I don't know anything about this game, so I don't know how true this is. But what Jip said is that he said, and I'm just going to quote him. He says, also, you didn't ask about that game, but if I was playing the squares game, it's not about how hard you hit it, but how you hit it, or how you hit. And then he did exclamation mark Jason J. Kona. Anyway, if you hit it with a corner, it does less power and will be harder to turn. You want it to land flat as possible. Which
Interesting.
I don't know if that's true.
Jip an expert on Korean games.
I did not know that about Jip, but I'll buy it.
I don't know if I buy it, Jip. Also, I want to clarify. You called Jip good friend of the show. Friend of the show, maybe. He hasn't earned a good friend yet.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice.
You're a very nice man. I called you a man, and that was weird to me. I don't know why.
Am I not a man?
It's like how Ali just keeps calling everybody sir. Like, it felt weird, I
guess. Acquaintance of the show, Jip, also talked about the red light, green light strat, and he said, okay, my red light, green light strat is to be at the very, very edge of the room. When everyone starts panicking and running towards the back, you could get bumped and get killed super easily, even if you're standing still. If you to one of the corners in the beginning, there is less potential to have someone run into you and knock you over. After that, I would just walk like the old man did. Running is not an option.
Yeah, he's right about that. The thing is, though, like when people are talking about their strategy for that game, the way that game is set up, like, you'd have to know you're going into it, and none of these people knew they were going into it, right?
Yeah.
Or like they knew they were playing red light, green light at a certain point, but they didn't know it was red light, green light to the death, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's easy for everybody to say what they would do, but it's like, I don't know. I think I'd probably get shot pretty quick.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I would be in the rush of people, and I think I said this in the first episode, going to the door and getting killed. Like I think my fight or flight instinct would kick in.
If
and
I
I'd be like, I'm
survived
outta
that
here.
first rush, I think I'd be okay. Like,
Okay.
if I realized, if I was in a right state of mind and said, okay, I need to not move, and I didn't get pushed over by anybody or anything like that, I think I'd be okay. But if I think it's more likely that I'm like either running with the crowd or I get shoved over by somebody or something like that, and I wouldn't know that I can get to the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I don't know if I'd want to start in the corner.
Yeah.
And I mean, getting knocked over isn't technically the end, because we saw like Gi-hun gets knocked over. So if you get knocked over, you might still be able to survive. It's
very
just
true.
You know, it's not a guarantee.
Thanks to Jip, dude, for giving us his feedback on what his strat would be. If someone wants to be like Jip, Sean, and respond and say what their strategy would be on a certain game, or say anything about Squid Game in general or our podcast, how would they do something like that?
Well, in the description of this podcast, there will be a link to join the Super SpikeGhetti Bros Discord, the home of both the Answer Report podcast and this podcast, and Coached by Tara, a podcast where Mike's girlfriend Tara recaps books to him. All those places are contained in that Discord, and there's a channel for Squid Pro Quo discussion if you want to talk about it like alongside the episodes as we're covering it, and also a Squid Game spoilers chat where there's already been some conversation happening.
Yes, definitely.
I had a conversation with Diana today about some Squid Game stuff. And if you want to talk just spoilers for the entire season, you can do it in that channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, the link to do all that is in the description. And you should join, because I don't think there's a better group of people.
Wow, Sean, that's very nice. Thank you. You are a big reason why that group is such a good group as well, though.
Oh, keep being nice to me. Go on.
I don't know if I have anything else to say. What I also want to say is, if you don't like Discord for some reason, you're a weirdo or whatever, you can email us at squidboyspq@gmail.com. That's squidboys, boys with BOIZSPQ@gmail.com. Yeah, I know. It's a great email.
I'm so happy about it, Mike.
I knew you'd like it.
Squid Boys is maybe the crowning jewel of of the podcast. If nothing else comes out of it, the idea of calling ourselves Squid Boys is worth it all to me.
Yes, we are the Squid Boys.
All right, so this week we're talking about episode 2. It's titled Hell, which I think is a pretty accurate description.
Agreed.
I guess before I'm gonna throw it over to you to kind of take us through the episode itself, I do want to talk about it kind of overall really quickly, because this is the episode that, for me, sold the series. Like, the cliffhanger of the first episode is like, man, this is some shock. This is crazy. This is a good way to get people hooked to the next one. But I think what's so smart about this episode is where it takes the characters after the explosive finale of the last episode. It really slows down and lets you really spend time with each of the leads. And I don't think the rest of the series works if you don't see this episode.
For sure. It really puts you in the mindset of, you're like, man, any normal person would never go back to that place.
Exactly.
But it gives you it almost makes you go, well, if that was my life, I think I might go back to that place, right? Mm-hmm. And it really introduces kind of all of the characters we're going to be dealing with over the next, 7 episodes. And it really gives them all compelling reasons, with the exception of we don't see a lot of backstory on number 1, but he just kind of mentions that it's worse out here than it is in there, and I think every character we see exactly why it is that way and why they would want to go back, because I think without that you'd just go, wait, why only psychopaths would go back here, which still might be the case, but at least they're psychopaths with motivation,
Yes. And I think I mean, we'll obviously we'll get into it once you start to recap and stuff. But again, like you said, it just you watch the episode and by the end you're like, I can see how if I was in this character's shoes in this exact situation they are, where I would be like, this death game is better.
I'm glad you said that, because that's really it is kind of, at the time I remember watching this episode the first time I watched it. I kind of didn't like this episode.
Okay.
And not because it's not good, because it is very good. But I'm the kind of person that's like, get me back to the Squid Game. I wanted to get back there. But the longer you watch it, the more you realize how important this episode was. And that was just me being like, I wanted some mind-numbing, like violent, like action kind of shit.
Yeah.
And this series was taking me in a different direction that I didn't realize I wanted it to. You know what I mean? It was,
yeah.
And I appreciate that about it now. But yeah, no, it's a really good episode actually. It's the longest episode, I think.
Ooh, is it?
I think it's over an hour. It's like an hour 4.
I think there's one more that's long.
Really? Maybe you're right.
That might be longer than this.
Well, it's either the longest or second longest episode, but
it covers the most for sure. Oh no, you're right. It is the longest. Do you want to go ahead and take us into it?
I can start recapping. So we pick up, first of all, the cold open, so to speak, which sometimes cold opens are more used in like comedies to like just set up a funny bit or whatever. But this cold open is it shows the soldiers packing up these dead bodies in these caskets with ribbons around them, and you see one of the caskets kind of creep open and a hand starts to climb out, and you hear a breath, and the soldier doesn't think anything of it. He shoves the fingers back in and staple guns the thing closed, and they're just cremating all these people. And it's like, whoa, like it's a really cool I like a lot of times how those cold opens really set like what's going on with like how this whole operation works. And it's just kind of like a look into like what this operation's like, because we don't know a ton about it yet. So I really like that.
Tonally, it's very different than a cold open like the I Want It That Way cold open from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
But
or Kevin spilling the chili in The Office.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about Kevin.
Literally the best cold open of all time. Kevin spilling the chili.
It's really good. This opening is horrific, and it's because like in the first episode you don't get, if I remember correctly, a ton of like the workers being, or the guards or whatever being like, because we don't see them shooting the guns, I don't think.
Right.
Maybe, yeah, you don't see them shooting the guns.
No.
The guns are being operated from the ceiling.
Yep.
This is the first time where you're just like, oh, these people are fucked up.
Right.
Like, no remorse, shoving that hand back in the box and sealing it shut.
Yes.
Like, not even a open it and put them out of their misery first type of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't care, and I think it asks some questions about the people running the show.
Yes, definitely. So after the cold open, we catch up with our crew, who it's mere moments after the red light, green light game, and everybody's kind of sitting huddled in fetal positions, and arms wrapped around legs, and nobody's happy. And the main head soldier man comes in, and it starts with number 212, who is a character we don't know a lot about yet, but she becomes more important later on, and she starts to beg and plead that they let them go home. She'll pay off her debts, please. She hasn't even named her child yet that she just had. She's basically saying anything that she can to go home, and then a whole group of people join in. They're all bowing and saying, please, we'll pay our debts, And the soldier mentions, hey, I'm not here to make sure you pay your debt. I'm providing you an opportunity. And he starts to read the rules, and everybody's panicking, and there's a gunshot. And basically what comes of it is Song-woo stands up and says, hey, the third rule is that if we all agree that we don't want to play anymore, we can go home. Like, the majority agrees. And they said, very well, we'll do a vote.
And that is so fascinating to me because during that entire conversation when they're all back, and by the way, because I did write it down, I do want to note 255 people died in red light, green light, which is a lot of people that I'm not sure. I feel like I saw 255 people die at the end of episode 1, but I'll take the show's word for it. During that scene when they're all begging, the guard is very quick to bring up rules 1 and 2, but Sangwoo has to stand and be like, oh, you're forgetting 3.
Right.
Which I think is interesting, especially when you see things that happen later in the episode, how the guards are so quick to enforce the laws of the land in this case when it benefits the game.
It suits the game. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
And I think that's very telling.
And it almost seems like it might be a psychological trick, and we'll get more into that as we go through the episode. But before they vote, he says, "Hey, let's show you how much winnings there are." And the piggy bank lights up, and it just starts filling with money, and it's filled with 25.5 billion won, which is a lot of money, and a lot of people's attitudes change.
Oh yes,
a lot of people. And 212 asks Wolf, wait, if we win, how much do we get? And it's 45.6 billion won.
Is it 45.6? I thought it was 4.56.
Yeah, it's 4.5 billion. You're right. Because it's 100 million for every person who dies.
Yeah, so I did this math because I was curious. 100 million won is roughly 85,000 US dollars. So right away, this group is saying this is the value of a human life.
Right.
Which, again, I think is an interesting stance for this group to take. And collectively as a group, because I know people have talked about like how much are they actually playing for. The 4.56 billion won, from what I found, is roughly $3.8 million.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of money. And I said this last episode, I think, but I love the sound, the slot machine-esque sound that plays when the money's dropping. Like, you won, hey, congratulations, kind of sound. And the lights dim and just the piggy bank is lit up, and it's very well done.
And I wonder, because, talking about the psychological aspect of what they're doing to these people, I wonder, because obviously that's positive reinforcement, right? After you go through hell. I wonder if the design of the hallway they walk them through is also designed like that as a sort of positive reinforcement, and how bright and colorful it is and how kind of wonderlandish it is.
For sure.
And fantastical. That's something I didn't really think about until you just brought up the sound of the...
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Money
just
thing.
The aesthetic of that is meant to be pleasing and
yes.
If not a giant maze that they'll get lost in if they try to escape. But also,
that's
pleasing.
also true.
So we start a vote, and basically just the majority has to say they want to stop, and they'll stop. So there's 201 people left, and they walk up to a box, and they either hit yes, stay, or no, leave. And they go in reverse order. So Gihan is up first, and he votes no. And then the woman after him votes yes. And he is just, the look on his face of astonishment that this woman would vote yes is just, and I love that shot, because he's just like, what?
Yeah.
And so they continue to vote, and it's a pretty even vote. At one point, 212, the woman who was begging and pleading to go see her baby, votes yes.
Oh, and, interesting.
Interesting. And this guy just says, what are we doing? We need to go home. And they start arguing, and one of the soldiers puts him at gunpoint, and they say, we will not allow anything to interrupt this democratic process. And I just thought that was really funny. Like,
it's funny. I also think it's another demonstration of the kind of what we were talking about a minute ago, of acting as a bastion of rules and regulations when it suits them.
Right.
When we're fighting to get out, it's like, no, this is a democratic process. You can't mess with the voting. Like, I wonder if they would have gotten as involved if it had been on the other if it had been like advocating why aren't we voting to stay, yada yada. But
I actually have an interesting theory on that we can't really talk about till the end of the series. But I agree. They're definitely playing to the rules of they're manipulating these people to continue the game. So I have a list of what these important characters voted.
Ooh,
just
okay.
You know, and up for you know, obviously Gihan voted no. Sang Woo votes yes, which again is another look of shock from Gihan as he walks into the room. Like, what? You know, I can't believe you. Ali, which we didn't learn his name yet, but I just said it. Number 199. He votes no. 101, who is kind of the gangster guy with the tattoo, he votes no, and that was surprising to me.
Oh, I forgot he votes no.
Yeah, he votes no.
Oh, but that makes sense. That makes sense for what he does later.
Exactly. But when I was rewatching, I went, wow. I even wrote wow in my notes. I wrote wow next to it.
Wow.
67, the pickpocket gal, she votes yes. And then it's 100 to 100, and it's up to our final voter, and that is Mr. Old Man 001.
So when did you realize that it was going to come down to him? Like your first time through?
The moment that they said they were going in reverse order.
Okay, it took me a little bit. I think it was after they started fighting and then they started voting again. I was like, oh shit, it's coming down to the old man.
Yeah. I figured when they did it in reverse order, I was like, it's going to come down to him. And Gihan has a moment where he remembers the old man telling him about his brain tumor.
Yeah.
And he goes, fuck, he's going to vote yes. He doesn't give a shit. He's going to die anyway. And he surprisingly votes no.
That shocked me my first time through.
Yeah, me too. I thought for sure he was going to vote yes, and that's how the series was going to progress.
But again, it's one of the smartest pieces of writing in the entire show to have him vote no and take the group out.
Right. Agreed. Most people cheer, but then some people screaming at the guards, well, no, let some of us stay. And they said, hey, if the majority want to come back, we will reopen at some point. So they... time passes and they get unceremoniously dumped in the street. And Gihan is stuck with the pickpocket gal. And there's a funny moment where he helps untie her, and then he's like, okay, untie me. And then she's putting her clothes on. He goes, oh, yeah, I get it. It's cold out here. I'm cold too. But then untie me. And then she's like, I'm not untying you. You're just going to yell at me for the money I stole from you. And he's like, no, I won't. I swear on my mom. And then the moment she takes his hands untied, he's like, give me my money. Like the moment. He doesn't even hesitate. And he falls down because his legs are still tied. And she just says to him, man, I feel bad for your mom. Because he literally said, I swear on my mother's life that I won't yell at you about this money.
I love how every action that he makes in this episode informs you, and even in the last one as well, it informs you of who he is as a person at the beginning of all this.
We also find our good friends Sang-woo and Ali together, and Ali asks to use his phone, and his phone's dead, so they go to a gas station, and he buys a phone charger, and he buys him some food, and he gives him some money for bus fare, and it shows this compassionate side of Sang-woo, which we hadn't really seen a lot of Sang-woo yet. We don't really know what he's about. But he's, giving Ali, who clearly has nothing, some money so he doesn't have to walk, miles to get to his home. And it's a nice moment for him. I'm trying to remember what exactly happens next, because there's a lot that happens in this episode.
I think the next thing is the police, right?
Yeah. So Gihan goes to the cops, and he sounds like a crazy person.
Again, I'm always, you're always like, why wouldn't they go to the cops, right? Mm-hmm. And the show's like, okay, no, he's gonna go to the cops.
So he goes to the cops, and when I was rewatching it this past time, my question was, okay, apparently this game has been going on a while, right? Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily know that yet, but it's implied, I think, at this point. Mm-hmm. You're telling me he's the only one that's ever gone to the cops with a similar story.
Here's my this is really hard to talk about without getting into spoilers. My question would be, how many have actually voted to leave?
That's a good point.
I think there's a specific reason that this group probably managed to vote to leave that we can't get into until later.
Yeah, for sure. I just thought it was an interesting thought in my head. Like,
No.
wait, why?
Yes.
So basically, they call the number and it's the wrong number. And then he tries calling the number and the phone's out of service. So he's just like, all right, whatever. And when we're in there, that we meet our good cop friend, who I don't remember the name of right now, but he's like bringing a guy down to the station or whatever. And he goes, who was that? And he goes, some drunk, but we're going to get to know him a little bit later in the episode.
I literally wrote down in my notes, yo, it's Hot Detective Man's.
Hot Detective Man. He's a pretty attractive man.
He is.
I'm not against calling him that. Gian also bumps into Sang-woo. And Sang-woo's kind of like spying on his mother, which is weird. And he tells Gihan that he owes 6 billion won in debt.
Yeah.
Which
then the money he would win from this wouldn't even get him out of that.
Right.
And that's crazy to think about. Holy fuck. I didn't even think about that until just now.
It wouldn't even be enough. And then there's this funny moment that shows the intellectual levels of these two individuals where he says it wasn't just on stocks, it was on futures. And Gihan goes, you bet that much on your own future? And he goes, it's not that kind of never mind. It's one of those funny moments.
I also think just visually, it's a very striking image, the two of them standing next to each other in their old hometown, because you get that the kid that made it and the kid that didn't.
Right. For sure.
For sure. And the way that they dress and carry themselves, it very striking difference between the two of them.
Yeah. Sang-woo comes off as very poised, even when he's stressed, and very like calm, and Gihan's very like emotive and very, just like, what? You bet on your own future? He doesn't think before he speaks. Or
I think this is also one of the moments where, at least I remember, a running thing in the series where Gihan is like, but you went to the Seoul, SNU, and it just fucking you just see Sang-woo's face, and he's like, please stop, please stop
talking to me about this, please stop telling people this. Gihan gets a call while he's talking to Sang-woo from the hospital, where his mother has been hospitalized with advanced diabetes. She has a lot of wounds on her feet, and I don't know how much you know about diabetes, Sean, but diabetes at advanced stages will make it so you do not heal wounds, and you have to have feet amputated, or whole bottom half of legs amputated. Mm-hmm. It's very terrible, and her feet do not look good.
That's another thing I wrote down about this episode is I love the groundedness and the reality of it being something that seems as simple as diabetes. That is, it's not like you have this rare like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a real thing, and
Gihan, your mother has ligma.
What's ligma? It's not something like you have this rare tumor that is, whatever. And I think that's another thing that like makes part of this so universal a story to people even outside of South Korea. Like that's a big thing even here in America is like diabetes medication, and
diabetes is a big problem.
Yeah. So I really, really love how grounded and real that it makes everything in this feel.
And even more grounded and real, she can't afford to stay at the hospital.
Yeah. Yes.
Because she doesn't have insurance, because Gihan canceled her insurance.
Yeah.
And she has to go to work because she's the only one that makes any money.
The themes that this show touch on when it comes to the poverty and class struggle is a very universal theme that I think is a big reason why it hits so hard internationally.
For sure.
Parasite was similar in that, the movie, the Bong Joon-ho movie. And I don't think anywhere, I mean, I guess I'm really only basing this off two things, so it's a really ignorant statement to make, but I don't think anywhere is addressing class struggle in media like South Korea is.
I mean, again, I'm even more ignorant than you are, but I'll just agree with you for the sake of the podcast.
I'm really happy about that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we cut over to our friend the pickpocket, number 67, and she's tending to her brother, who's living in an orphanage until she can find a way to smuggle their parents out of North Korea. And I'm just going to kind of cut to the second part of her story.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense to me to do it grouped.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, she hired a broker that ran off with the money through this guy. And this guy is one of two individuals in this episode who were possibly the smuggest, like most douchebaggy looking guys they could have gotten to play these two individuals.
You're so right.
Like, even just like their facial expressions when they're talking in their native tongue is just like, man, this guy's a dickhead. This guy's not as much of a dickhead as Ali's guy we meet later.
Yeah.
Or I think it's before, but we're doing this out of order.
Regardless, yeah.
Anyway, she threatens him and throws hot coffee on him.
I fucking cheered, dude. I got so hyped when she threw the coffee at him.
The fucking dub of this is so
I forgot
good.
You're watching the dub.
Yeah, I'm watching the dub for the second time. And he's like, oh, whoa, that's hot. Like, it's so funny. It's such a funny dub. And then I think she robs him too, right? She takes the money out of his side pocket, which is apparently a thing in South Korea where a lot of gentlemen have their wallet right there because we see it again later.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel so dumb. I just realized that's what the knife thing's about.
What do you mean?
That's how I assume she's cutting the holes in the pocket because he puts his finger through it. There's a hole in his pocket after she's done, like there is with the main character in episode 1. And we see later on that she has a knife, she
in that puts the knife to his throat too, though.
Yeah. But I didn't think about that. I was like, oh, how'd there get a hole in his pocket? I'm so dumb.
Yeah, come on, Sean. Sean, pull it together, man. What are you doing?
I was like, this guy's got a hole in his pocket too.
That's crazy. So anyway, she promises her kid brother that she'll get the parents back, but I think we find out that where are they, in North Korea? Is that where they are?
Yeah, they're in North Korea. I kind of get the vibe that the dad is gone. Because when she goes to the dude for the broker, they're specifically talking about getting her mother out of North Korea. Yeah, but the little brother
doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
So anyway, we meet up with Ali, who is confronting his boss, who hasn't paid him in what seems like a long time. Mm-hmm. And the dude's like playing like dominoes or something on his fucking desktop while he's talking to him. And he's, again, the second character who is just looks like one of the biggest pricks you could ever meet, dude.
I've never wanted to punch someone in the face so badly.
And he's just like, oh man, I need to go to the doctor too, but money's been so tight. And again, the dub of this is fucking hilarious, dude. He goes, oh, come on, Ali. I have to go to the doctor. Like, the voice is so like bad and perfect. He notices an envelope of money on the man's desk, and the man notices that he notices. So he goes, oh, I can't talk right now. I got to go. So he grabs the money and he chases him out, and they struggle over the money. And the boss puts his hand in a piece of heavy machinery, and his hand just fucking explodes like blood.
Oh, God. It's one of those gruesome effects.
Yeah.
I think in the entire show.
Yeah. It's very, very raw.
Another thing I didn't realize until the second time watching, and I'm so fucking stupid, Mike. I was like, oh, that's how Ali lost his finger. Like, I didn't pick up on it for the first time through for whatever reason. But he even says it. He says that that's how he lost his finger.
He says, I couldn't get medical attention for my finger because I didn't have money to pay them. And that's how he lost his finger, yeah.
But I didn't realize, I didn't pick up on that until my second time through. Hey, to be fair, man, first time through, subtitles, I missed a couple things, okay?
Oh, yeah, I get it. So anyway, he runs with the money after the guy puts his hand in the press and gets to his wife and his very young infant child and says, hey, take this money, go home. I have to do something, but then I'll meet you there kind of thing. Which, at that point, he's saying I have to go back to the Squid Game, basically.
Yeah.
Which clearly the money he took from the guy wasn't enough.
Does he have the card at that point?
I don't know I don't remember where he gets the card. If he even does, if they even show that with him.
Yeah, I don't remember. I only remember where a couple.
I think
of them
they only
card.
show it with Sang-woo and with Gihan.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't think they show the other characters getting the card. It's just assumed.
Yeah, they definitely don't show it for the mobster guy.
Yeah, for Duck-soo, who's our next...
Duck-soo.
We learn his name is Duck-soo. He's in 101. And he reconnects with one of his lackeys, and it goes south as he is sold out. But his plan before he gets sold out is, hey, we're going to gather a bunch of guys. This guy's going to come pick us up in the van, and we're going to gun him down, and then we're going to go and we're going to take that piggy bank full of money, which is a stupid plan. Like,
no, you know what? I think for what he knows, it's a great fucking plan. Because he doesn't know about the whole operation yet.
I don't know. I see a facility like that, and I'm like, there's way too many guards here.
I think if he had been awake for the transfer, he'd be like, this is a fucking mistake. But really, how many guards do they see in their time there?
I guess.
You know?
I don't know. Isn't there a lot of them, like, wheeling them out to the red light, green light?
I mean, I really don't... I think that from what he's seen... It's a pretty good plan to get out, go grab his guys, and come back with a bunch of guns. Maybe it's not the best plan, but I don't think it's a terrible plan. I don't think it's like, why would you even think about doing this?
Okay, he guns down the guy driving the van. He has no idea where to go.
I don't think he was planning on gunning him down. I think he was gonna take him hostage or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems kind of like a half-baked plan.
I will agree, it's half-baked. I guess I can see why that would be like, oh, I've got all these fucking dudes with guns. I'm gonna go grab them. We're gonna take this place.
All right, I just think it would have failed so terribly.
Oh yes.
He gets sold out because we find out he racked up a small fortune in debt at a Filipino casino. The guys from the casino are coming after him, but the guy, his underling, his lackey or former lackey at that point. You can tell the disrespect starts when he calls him Duck-soo, because it's clear he's supposed to call him boss or, show him more respect than that. And then he laughs and goes to get the cart, and Duck-soo just fucking brutally stabs this man to death. Again, another brutal scene in this episode, but he just is as violent as you see in anything. And the guy's dead instantly.
This is I want to bring up this is a good spot, I think, to bring up. This entire series is directed by one person, written and directed by one person. Mm-hmm. All created, they did the entire thing, which is insane. That's, for people that don't know how big of a task that is, it's huge. That's insanity. That is a crazy, crazy amount of work to put onto one person. The direction, oh my god. Like, the way that entire scene plays out, I think, is just, again, very impressive. The way he starts to stab the guy, and then you get this shot of the guy crawling out of the car, and the mobster guy crawling after him out of the car, and then stabbing him. And I think it looks so impressive. I think the way it's all laid out is really, really good.
And it's a good scene action wise, because this is the most I like Duck-soo's character the whole show, because he stands up and he looks at him and he goes, "Hey boys, welcome to Korea, come and get me." And then he fucking sprints and jumps off the fucking bridge. And I was like, that is so fucking cool, dude.
Again, the way it's shot is so good, where you have, like, it's not entirely a one take, because there's there is a lot of cutting, but when it gets to a certain point, it's a shot of him, and in the background you can, like, his face, and in the background you can see the people that are coming after him. And then he starts to run off camera, and the camera turns to follow him. Yeah. And it just holds on the side of the bridge as he runs directly towards it and then jumps over the edge.
Yep.
Like, it's so good.
Cool. It's so cool. Really well done. And it's crazy. You're right. It's crazy that this was written and directed by one man.
Yeah, especially with sequences like this that are just... It's a lot of work.
So we cut back to Sang-woo, who he gets into a bath in his clothes.
Yeah, he was He was planning to.
He's planning to off himself, basically.
Yeah, I read online that like the I guess it was like a hot plate or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was for.
So he's drinking, he's smoking, he's got the hot plate there, he's planning off himself. Before this, I believe he calls his mother.
He does, yeah.
In a scene that I think is pretty funny where she's like, "Oh, are you eating good?" Typical mother stuff. And then a customer walks up and she goes, "Hey, I have to go." And he goes, "Okay, I'm going to be in America longer, blah, blah, blah," which he's lying, obviously.
Yeah.
And so then she's like dressing the fish or whatever she needs to do for this, or the squid or whatever it was for this woman. And she's telling her all about how proud she is of her son. And and he went to this school and he's in America now.
He went to SNU.
And da-da-da-da-da. And then the woman sees a picture of him and says, "Oh, and he's handsome too. Is he single? I know somebody I could hook him up with." And she goes, "Well, he has pretty high standards." And the woman's kind of like, "What the fuck? Like, that was rude."
Yeah.
And then these cops walk in. Yeah. And they just go, "Hey, by the way, we're here to arrest your son. Do you know where he is?" And the woman, like, instant vindication for that woman that she was just rude to, like. Yeah, he's my question for you is this: what do cops do this? Do they like?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Well, no. I just mean, like, it seems really unrealistic to me that the cops would walk up and tell her exactly what he's charged with. Like, I feel like normally don't cops go, "Hey, we're looking for your son. If you see him, please give us a call."
That's what I see on like American television.
Right.
But also it's maybe not the most reliable source of information.
Maybe the cops would go, "By the way, he's like billions of dollars or billions of won in debt, and he's wanted for fraud and all these things. So if you could, I just feel like
it's severe. It's not like he ran a red light or something." Right.
I just feel like his telling his mother would be a bad play because she's probably going to hide him.
Yeah, probably. Again, I have no idea.
Anyway, he's going to kill himself. And he doesn't because there's a big loud knock on his door and the Squid Game card is slid into his door. And he goes, "Well, shit, I mean, better than killing myself, right?" I mean, he doesn't say that, but that's the idea. So we're back to Gihan, our main character, our good friend, our lovable bastard. And he begs his buddy that we saw in the first episode for money. And it's clear that his buddy owns a little shop restaurant thing. And it's clear that his buddy's wife hates Gihan. Yeah. Because she's like, "Get inside right now." And then she's like, "Gihan, you're not supposed to smoke in front of someone's establishment." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, sorry." Yeah. And then he also goes and asks his ex-wife for money. And we get a little backstory here on Gihan that they touch on later in the series, but we find out he wasn't there for his daughter's birth because he had watched a coworker die.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is what the writer is going for, but there's something very poetic about the whole his coworker dying in front of him as his daughter is born. Mm-hmm. One life leaving, one life entering, or whatever. Right. But I'm not sure if that was specifically what they were going for, but I was thinking about it specifically this time through.
But I just thought that was an interesting touch on his character, and I forgot about that line, and because you learn more about it later, and I forgot about that line until I rewatched it. I went, "Oh, interesting. They actually talked about this beforehand." Her current husband and his child and their other child show up, and he goes to leave, and the husband comes out and offers him the money he wants. And he goes, "Oh, thank you so much." You can tell it hurts his pride, but he goes, "Thank you so much. Yeah. I'll pay you back." And the guy goes, "You don't need to. Just stay away from my family." And Gihan just cold cocks him right in the face, dude. Just hits him. He says, "You think money solves everything?" And throws the money at him. And his daughter sees it.
One of, I think, the most single crushing scenes in the entire show.
Yeah. Just she's like, "Dad, why?" And he's just like, "Oh." And, I think to get to the point where Gihan would want to go back to this game, you really had to devastate him. And I think between his mother's health, the cops not believing him, and then not being able to get money, and then punching this man in front of his daughter and losing control. I think that is just a huge, motivation for all that stuff. And then the last thing he does, which he's outside of a gas station drinking, which apparently is a thing, and he sees 001. And the old man sits down and has a drink with him, and they eat some ramen. Do people eat ramen that way?
I hear college students eat ramen that way.
That, like, the way he chews it, I'm like, that seems disgusting.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd bust a tooth.
I don't know about that, but I definitely think it looks kind of. I hear that's very common.
Okay, well,
and not just like in South Korea. I hear like American college students do that a lot.
Put some fucking water on it. What's wrong with you? Anyway, so 001 says to him, I'm going back to the game. And he's like, what? Why would you do such a thing? And he says, everything they said is true. It's a worse hell out here.
Mm-hmm.
Basically referring to everything all these characters have gone through. Not that he knows that, but just thematically, everything all these characters have gone through, and how they were right. It is worse out here for all of them. And that's what really, one of the things that really pushes Gihan. The last scene before we have the big scene of everybody waiting for the van is Gihan's on his way home, and he gets stopped by Junho, our sexy cop man.
Oh yes.
I missed a couple of scenes of Junho.
You did.
Yeah, he's going to find. He asks. Okay, well, I'll recap that. He goes back to the station to ask about Gihan because he's like, "What's the deal with this guy?" Well,
what happens is we see a scene of him driving, and he's talking to presumably his parents about his brother going, like, not answering calls and stuff. So he goes to his brother's apartment. He gets let in there by, like, the landlady, who's like, "Hey, your brother owes me money, by the way." And when he goes in, he finds the card that he saw Gihan was using or had at the police station, at which point he goes back to the police station to find out about Gihan.
Yes. So then he finds out about Gihan, and then he meets Gihan outside his apartment. It's raining. He's an umbrella, and he says, "Hey, I need you to help me. You said you this stuff happened." And he just says, "Hey, man, I made that story up." Because he's so... This is right after he punched his daughter's stepdad, and he just says, "Hey, I really need your help. My brother's disappearing. He got this card just like you." And I believe the line he says, "Why would you think I'd be any help to you right now?" But the English dub line was, and I actually kind of like it better, was, "Why would you think I'd be any use to anybody?"
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, yo, that line is actually really good. And I think it does convey what the original Korean was trying to say,
Yeah.
Like, they're implying, like, why do you think I'd be of help to you? Look at me, that kind of thing. And I really liked it. I was like, that is a good line. So he gets to his house, and there's the card again saying, "Hey, return to the Squid Game, please." In less words than that. And the card just says, "Hey, please return to the Squid Game."
He enters his fucking house, and just one of the dudes in the mask is standing in there. He's like, "Hey, I know this is kind of weird, but, like, yeah, we're getting back together, class of 2021 reunion. So if you want to come back, here's a card. We'd love to see you.
We'd love to see you again."
When you get emails from the store you went to like a decade ago, and you give them your
miss you. Please come back to Squid Game. So anyway, to wrap up the episode.
I love the idea of the organization being called the Squid Game.
The Squid Game.
Please come back to the Squid Game.
The Squid Game, please. We get a little montage of all the people we've met in this episode returning by waiting for their van. Ali, Sungwoo, 67, Doksu, is that his name? Doksu? Doksu.
Sure.
001, and then Gihan, and they all get in the van, and leave. But the cliffhanger of the episode we find is that number 67, who we still haven't learned her name yet, was covering her face. So she did not get gassed.
Is that how that works? There was a lot of gas in that car.
She was holding her breath too, because
yeah.
She pulls her thing down that was covering her face and breathes like that. So it's implied that she was holding her breath, which she's very crafty and very
true. I mean,
we'll see in the next episode. She does some things that are almost like, could she really get away with this?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that next episode, but. Anyway, this episode's a little different because it doesn't really have a game tied to it.
I was gonna say, we also see the cop in his car following.
Yes, the cop. You're right. The cop follows one of the vans, presumably the one that has Gihan in it.
I had a thought watching the end of this episode, and I wanted to raise it to you.
Okay.
And it's kind of a twofold thought, because the first part is, what about the poor person who's been gassed like 10 times? like
yeah, I thought about that too. Like, so this, you were first on the list. So hey, we got. It's like the worst version of of you're ordering like DoorDash and like, oh, we got to drop off another order first before we get to you.
Like, so that was my first thought. My second thought is, what if you were the first person the second time? So you get there and you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're just like, ugh. Like, I bet that gas doesn't make you feel very good when you wake up.
And I bet doing it 5 or 6 times is really bad. You know?
Yeah, it's probably not good for you.
And can you imagine the second time through being back? You're like, can you go pick up the others first and like come back and get me?
Yeah, can I be last?
I was thinking about that at the end.
Oh man,
yeah, you were saying that there's no. Yeah,
I just saw an article that says that here's the headline: Squid Game creator disses LeBron James after he criticized the show's ending.
This.
Have you seen Space Jam 2? Ooh, boy, sorry, LeBron. I think you lost that one, Buster.
Oh man. Have you seen Space Jam 2? Hang on a second. Space Jam 2 has Don Cheadle in it. I don't know. I
haven't seen Space Jam 2. I don't know if it's good or not.
Neither have I, but by virtue of having... But man, it has Don Cheadle in it.
I love Don Cheadle.
Emmy-nominated Don Cheadle, nominated for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I don't understand that. He was in the show for like 2 minutes.
Emmy-nominated.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, he got nominated. It was either best guest star or best. It must have been best guest star.
Anyway,
because it can't have been supporting character. Anyways, yes.
Back to the episode. No, it's my fault. I derailed us. So this episode doesn't necessarily have like a game. It's a little bit of a different episode compared to the rest of them. Most of them have a game of some kind or something where we can call an MVP, right? But if you had to name an MVP of this episode, not necessarily of a game, but of this episode, who would you give it to?
Ooh, dude, it's 067. Is that
yep.
her number?
Yep.
Oh, it's 067, dude. It's totally what she does to that dude that is gonna help her find a broker for the defecting is really yeah. Yeah. She's my favorite. And what she does to Gi-hun earlier in the episode.
She has just such an interesting, like, this is going to sound weird, but she has such an interesting face. And what I mean by that is, like, she's, like, so good at emoting, you know, and then not emoting. Like, she could not give a shit about what you're saying, but then when there's something like she's pouring the hot coffee on you and she has the knife in the neck, you know, she's like, you can see like the fury in her eyes, you know. And she gets to do a lot of really good acting in this series, but she's just so interesting to me. I think she does such a great job on this show.
I agree.
Is she my MVP of this episode though? I don't know. I might have to give it to Duck-Soo because I really like the "Welcome to Korea" like that shit, like that shit, and it's his dub voice actor is so funny too. Like he's like this, like he's got this like scratchy voice, like it's like it's the stereotypical what you would expect, you know?
Yeah.
But it's so like he's "Welcome to Korea" like that, and it's just like it's so good that he just sprints for the bridge and jumps. I might give it to him this episode because I don't think he stands a chance in any other episode to me. So this will be his moment in the sun.
And just to make sure that the notes I'm keeping are right, last episode we agreed that it was the old man, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he literally carried red light, green light with his skill, you know? He carried it on his back.
On his back. As he crawled through the dirt like a worm.
Without him, no one would have survived. Everybody would have panicked and died.
No, God, the way he moves in that scene is burned into my
I know,
memory.
I can see it right now. With like the 1 foot comes down first, and the second one, and his hands are like that is so burned into my head. I love it. I might get it tattooed on me. It's on my back, big old back piece. Because it's glorious.
I'd pay to see it.
Also, I will mention too, because I know I've been meaning to talk more about the dub when we talk about this stuff. Mm-hmm. His dub voice is literally like Master Splinter. Oh yeah. Oh, like it's so like it's so funny to me. Like the dub is so funny. It's like they dubbed it like an anime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As opposed to like a real show, which I know it could feel like that with real shows sometimes, like live action, where it's like because their mouths are moving differently from whatever. But like this just feels like dubbed like an anime. Like it's just I don't know how to explain it, but it's really I actually like it. It's not how I'd suggest people would watch it. I think sub is the better way, but dub is funny. If you're watching it for a second time, try dub.
I'm gonna let you sit on that one. I'm not gonna pull you out of the ditch, dude. I'm not gonna compared to real shows. I'm gonna I'm gonna let the anime fans come after you. You know,
that's fine. Hey, listen, I'm not saying anime's bad.
Yeah, you're just saying that it's not like real shows.
No, what I meant was like live action, real. That's what I meant, not animation.
No, dude,
don't change what I said, fucker.
I'm sure all the My Hero fans know exactly what you said, Mike.
Oh,
they're gonna the Demon Slayer boys. They're
still in their mother's basements, dude. I don't care what they have to say.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. You guys are all nice people. Don't be mad at me. Is there anything else we normally do with an episode? I don't remember.
We would give like you said, we'd give our strategy on how we'd play the game, but there is no game. So
and we already kind of said like, hey, if this was us, we would go back to the game, right? Like if I'm Gihan, I'm going back to the game.
Yeah, if I'm Gihan or any of these characters, I'm going back to the game. Now, if it was me, I'm lucky enough to have a life where I don't think I'd feel the need to go back to the game. But also, I feel like they obviously have to be targeting these people because they know that they would be desperate enough if push came to shove to stay.
I guess thinking about it, Ali's the only one where I'm like, couldn't you have just gone with your wife?
I guess it depends on how much money there was in that envelope.
Yeah. He's the only one where I'm questioning it slightly.
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell without like knowing how much money was in the envelope. True. I kind of imagine it's probably not a lot.
Enough to get him out of there, but not more than that, huh?
Yeah, and probably not enough to like live after. Where can people find you? What's the Twitters and stuff?
My name is Mike, and you can follow me on Twitter at I don't fucking remember. Hold on.
I think it's
at SpikeGhetti Bros.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the official Twitter of me and my brother, and we do Twitch streams and some report podcasts about Kingdom Hearts and other things. Like Sean said earlier, the Discord is in the description if you want to join and come hang out. Also follow us on twitch.tv/Super Spaghetti Bros, where we stream multiple times a week, all kinds of different games, and we have a lot of fun. Sean, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on the internet doing a lot of stuff, and it's all located on Twitter at Sean_AFK. If you're really into books and Brandon Sanderson in particular, I got a lot of stuff I'm working on in that realm. So I'm excited about that, and you should come talk to me about that kind of stuff, or Star Wars, or like Marvel or Kingdom Hearts, whatever.
Yeah,
I got layers. I'm a complex person.
You are very complex. Sorry, I just a little distracted. I had Twitter open because I had to look at my handle, and right now hashtag Poopy Pants Biden is trending. So I had to look at what that was about. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to our fun podcast. I hope you like it.
Yeah,
and we'll be back. We're doing every Sunday. So our first 2 episodes released today, 1 and 2, and then next week Sunday we will have episode 3, which is called The Man with the Umbrella. And so I hope you guys will please look forward to that. And Sean, is there anything else we need to say? I believe the way we end this is we bring up rule number 3. The podcast may be terminated if the majority agrees. So what do you say, Mike? I agree. This episode. The episode terminated. Bye, everybody. Yeah, I'm not a moon watcher myself, so. No. Captain America might be up there though. What is that meme? In Falcon and Winter Soldier, they were like, "Did you hear Captain America's on the moon?" Like some crazy person. Oh, see, I don't remember that in that show. That's why I didn't understand the meme. I thought they were like referencing the Avengers game, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Nah. It's just like a one-off line where someone's like, "People think Captain America's on the moon," and it's like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's weird. Why would he be on the moon? I don't know. He's probably on a private island in the Caribbean with Tupac and Elvis. Dude, I was gonna say, did you see him at the end game? That dude's dead. That guy did not live long after the end of Endgame. He looked like he was ready to fall apart. Yeah, that's probably true. Maybe he joined a Squid Game.